Hey everybody, welcome to Board Game Heaven. In this episode, I'm going to talk about Tricky Dungeon, a game designed by Arjan van Houwelingen, published by Pumpkin Games. And this is a trick-taking game with a fantasy theme and a nice twist. So let's open it up, I'll explain how it plays and tell you what I think about it. Right, so Tricky Dungeon by Pumpkin Games. It has lovely, lovely artwork by Victor P. Corbella. Let's open up the box. So the first thing we see is the little rule book in several languages. So we have a couple of these in here. So this one is, let's see, doesn't say on the front. This is a German booklet, an English booklet, and a Dutch booklet in my edition. And then there's a small insert here with these packs of cards. So let's open those. They have a thing here somewhere you can pull. I'm not gonna bother, I'm just gonna use my knife because I suck at this. Tiny things with my big hands. All right, so right, this is a trick-taking game, but you have several of these cards in the game that are the roles you pick before playing. So I'll explain that later. So you have the assassin, the barbarian, the thief, the witch, and the wizard. And they're all labeled A because this is basically the standard game cards that you can choose. But there's also a B variant. If you're familiar with the game and you want to spice it up a bit, there's a couple of other roles that you can pick that are a little bit more difficult to make it more interesting. So the Dwarven Hunter, the Seer, the Sorcerer, the Trickster, and the Troubadour. But wait, there's more. There's also a C version with an Elvish Hunter, a Fairy Scout, a Knight, a Ninja, and a Nymph. All with this great artwork. And there's multiple languages of those. So there's the German version of the A, B, and C cards, and the Dutch version of the A, B, and C card. Otherwise, they're exactly the same. They'll have the same text on the back. And then there's the second deck, which is basically the cards themselves, the playing cards, numbered, I think, 1 through 9, if I'm not mistaken. Just let's check that out. In 4 suits. So you have the yellow suit. Oh, it starts at, does it start at, oh, there's a 0 and a 1 as well. So let's see. There's a yellow suit, which has all kinds of different artwork on it. Very nicely illustrated. There's the blue suit, starts at 0, 1, 2, see, and then the artwork repeats through 7. And there's the green ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the red suit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's the missing 0 and 1. So that are the playing cards. Let's go to the rules. How to play Tricky Dungeon? Well, you take all the cards and you shuffle them well, and you pass them on to the players. In a 4-player game, each player gets 7 cards. In a 3 or a 2-player game, everybody gets 9 cards. So let's say we're playing a 3-player game. So you pass on the cards, 2, 4, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 9. Oh, did I miss one? There's a couple of cards left. So each player takes the cards and looks at them, and you decide which role you want to play. So first you pick the A, B, or C roles. So let's start with A, because you know this is a beginner's game, and you put them in the middle of the table so everybody can clearly read them. And I'll just put these to the side for now. And these were the cards that were left over. So what you do then, you look at your cards, and I like to sort my colors so I can more clearly see my options. And then you decide if you can win easily with this certain role. So there's different roles. Let's just quickly go through them. So the assassin doesn't have any trump card, and you earn 4 gold if you win the final trick. So you only have to win the final round, the final trick, and the rest doesn't matter. And then you get 4 gold. The barbarian does choose a color to be the trump card, and you earn 1 gold for each trick you take and each potion you collect. And bear in mind though that if you're playing 2 or 3 players, the counting only starts after the 6th trick you take. And if you're 4 or more, then you need 4 or more. So you basically want to take all the tricks, all the cards. Then there's the thief. He doesn't want any tricks at all. He's got no trump card, and you get 5 gold in a 2 or 3 player game and 4 in a 4 player game, but you lose 1 gold for each trick you win. So you want to dodge, you want to dive all of them. And here's the witch. She says the potions are the trump card, and you earn a gold for each spell you collect. And the spells are always on the 3 and the 4 cards, and the potions are different on each color. So on each suit there's a different number with a potion. The wizard is basically the opposite. He says the trump card is not a color, but the spell cards, so the 3s and the 4s, and you earn 2 gold for each potion you collect. So if these are the 3s and the 4s, that means there's 8 spells and there's 4 potions in the entire game. So that's why you get 2 gold for each potion, and the witch only gets 1 gold for each spell. So let's check my hand. Now, I've got lots of different cards, so that's not very handy. So I could try and play the thief and try and dodge everything. So that would be cool, but I would need to get rid of some cards perhaps. So what I could do, I mean there's 5 cards here left. I could, before I start playing, discard up to 5 cards from my hand and exchange them for those, but I don't know what I will get. So it's a gamble. Now these are low cards and 1 high card. So this is, I could try and dodge with red, so I'll keep those if I want to play the thief. Then there's 2 of each color, so if I want to dodge, I want low cards. So let's get rid of these high blue cards, and perhaps, you know what, I'll just get rid of all of these. These 4 cards, I'm getting rid of them. Hopefully I won't get a new blue or yellow card, because that means if the blue or yellow card gets played, I can play a higher card from my hand that I don't want to have. So I'm gonna toss these 4, pick 4 new ones, well, 1 of each color, and then basically what you do is you start, the active player starts, and you're gonna play a card. And so I only have 1 blue card, so I'm gonna play the blue card and hope somebody else will play a higher card. So and if I remember correctly, yeah, I had high blue cards, so yeah, may not be the best choice, because somebody's bound to have the 1 and the 2, and the 0 is also still in there. And then players play their cards, so they know I'm the thief and I don't want any cards. So this player is gonna play the 0 or the 1. So he's dived, and the trick is still mine. And then the next player, well, I've got a 2, and he's gonna play this. So like I said, wasn't the best one. So I have to take this trick, and these cards are mine, so that means I'm gonna lose 1 of my 4 gold that I had. So not a good start. But that's basically it. That's how you play the game. And then you play until all the cards have been played and all the tricks have been taken. And then you check how many gold you still have left, or how many gold you scored, depending on the roll you picked. Then you take all the cards together again, and if you managed to gain no gold at all, then the other 2 or 3 players will gain 1 gold for thwarting you in getting any gold at all. So you shuffle the cards, you pass them out again, and then the second player picks a roll, decides if he wants to exchange some cards with the remainder, and starts playing. And the person who takes the trick, of course, has to play the next card. And then you play on until every player has picked a roll twice, and then at the end you just tally up all the gold you won, and the person with the most gold wins. So that's basically the entire game. It's quite straightforward and simple. You need just to learn how these work and then get a feeling about, you know, which cards do I play. And if you're unsure about what all the rolls do, they're in the back of the book. So about halfway there's an explanation of all the heroes. So if the card isn't clear enough, you can just read what they do in the booklet. And there's a couple of variants to the game as well. So you can play longer. So instead of, you know, each playing a role twice, you can play it 3, 4, even 5 times. And there's a race where you just say, okay, the first person to reach 15 gold wins, or you just finish the round and you see who has the most gold at the end. And there's an adventurers guild where you play 5 rounds, and each round you have to pick a different character, so you play them all once. And there's a version where you're a random dungeon and you just shuffle all the A, B, and C heroes together, and you randomly play them or something. Well, it's all explained here. So there's quite a bit of variation to the game. And that's how you play Tricky Dungeon. So, my opinion on Tricky Dungeon. Well, it's one of those classic trick-taking games with a whole new twist. And that's basically already what I like about it. Because when I was younger, I used to play lots of trick-taking games with regular cards. And I used to always bring a pack of cards with me in my backpack to school, to university. And we'd play cards during lunch breaks. And at some point you're past that. You're like, okay, regular card games just don't interest me that much anymore, because there's this plethora of new board games around that we're all, you know, if you're in the hobby, that you're all getting to learn. And then regular card games just kind of feel old and passé and done. But this really, the nice thing about this is that it brings back that old kind of feel, style of game, and just puts it in a whole new way, with a new theme, with great artwork, with a twist, with all these characters that you can choose and that defines the way you play the game. So it's different every time, and it's very nice and small and compact. The components are fine. I mean, they're sturdy plastic cards, so that's good. So this is really the new kind of small game that I would bring with me on trips to game nights, because instead of that old pack of regular playing cards that I've long since tossed out, this is the new go-to card if you like card game, if you like trick-taking games. That's really nice. So in that regard, this gets a big 2 thumbs up. And so that was Tricky Dungeon by Pumpkin Games, designed by Arjan van Houwelingen. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, and see you next time on Board Game Heaven.